As the fog begins to dissipate, and the sun rises, Aiden, a fearless firefighter in the small town of Misty Oaks, ascends to the top of a majestic old tree to rescue an elderly man's cat. Aiden soon realizes that he will have to practice a bit of patience on this rescue. As night turns into day, Mr. Hudson, a widower, who lives alone, anxiously watches and tries to patiently await the rescue of his beloved cat whom he adopted from an animal shelter several years ago. After the rescue, Mr. Hudson invites Aiden inside for a hot cup of coffee. Aiden accepts his kind gesture, and comes inside to take a quick break. As he relaxes with Mr. Hudson's feline friend on the sofa, she warmly expresses her gratitude to the heroic firefighter for rescuing her. Oblivious to Aiden's ethical dietary choices, Mr. Hudson decides to surprise Aiden by cooking breakfast for him with bacon overflowing from slaughtered animals, as well as factory-farmed scrambled eggs. Aiden is horrified, yet he tries not to show it, as he doesn't want to insult Mr. Hudson. Aiden's heart skips a beat as Mr. Hudson invites him to sit at the dining table. Mr. Hudson proceeds to meticulously arrange the food, as if he were an artist creating a masterpiece. Aiden reluctantly sits down, horrified at what he sees. Aiden stares at the slaughtered animals, as his mind grapples with what to say to Mr. Hudson. He tries to walk a fine line between not insulting Mr. Hudson and staying true to his ethical choices. Unbeknownst to Mr. Hudson, Aiden is on an emotional roller coaster. Mr. Hudson intently watches him, and wonders why he isn't eating his food. Does he not like his cooking? Aiden remains quiet, torn between maintaining his ethical beliefs and not insulting Mr. Hudson. As Aiden continues to feel conflicted, he starts to take a bite, but then stops short of eating it. He tells Mr. Hudson that he can't accept food while he's on duty. Mr. Hudson insists on Aiden coming back later, when he gets off shift, to enjoy some of his family recipes that date back more than 100 years ago. Aiden, not wanting to insult him, agrees to come back later. Later in the day, after Aiden completes his shift, Aiden goes to a nearby lake to reflect on his missed opportunities for a meaningful conversation with Mr. Hudson. It becomes clear to Aiden that he should never have pretended to be something he is not. He realizes that he should have had an honest, open conversation with Mr. Hudson. Aiden decides he will share his personal story with Mr. Hudson when he sees him again in just a little while from now. Later in the evening, when Aiden drops by to see Mr. Hudson again, he explains to him why he made the compassionate choice to go vegan. As Mr. Hudson listens closely, he is at first bewildered by Aiden's choice to go vegan. He admittedly knows very little about veganism. He's curious to learn more. As the conversation deepens between the two of them, Mr. Hudson has an epiphany, and realizes for the first time in his life that his food choices matter. He tells Aiden that veganism wasn't something that was talked about when he was a kid growing up. He ate what his parents fed him. And there was no internet back then. Aiden jokingly tells Mr. Hudson that that's quite obvious by the number of books laying around in his house. The two share a laugh. And they continue to have deep thought-provoking conversation on the topic of compassion toward animals. Several months later, a black and white stray cat, similar looking to Mr. Hudson's cat, was wandering around Aiden's house. Aiden doesn't live far from Mr. Hudson, so he thought he should call to make sure it's not his cat. Mr. Hudson assured him it wasn't his cat, because now he keeps his cat inside. Aiden went on to ask him how his vegan journey was going, and Mr. Hudson told him that he's still vegan, and will always be vegan. It looks like the two of them have more than veganism in common, as Aiden now has a black and white cat too. Fittingly enough, Aiden named the new addition to his family, Lucky.